Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Gold Rush, a Weird West Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition campaign being run by Danae Keener. Today is May 6th, 2024, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of our games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other wonderful folk, feel free to again join us at patreon.com/indooradventures. But let's say you already support us on Patreon. You already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful spaces, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Well, guess what, Acorns? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks. We even have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where all of the proceeds of our merch currently goes to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is Indoor Adventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who you playing today?
Hello everybody, my name is RJ. Today I'm playing Kid. We both go by he, him. He is a Genasi sword mage, and I'm currently banning a bot.
You are also muted, good sir, in the CC.
Oh, probably because I was joined last.
Hello everybody, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Instagrams. You can find me at Hack Recklessly on Twitch and YouTube and Spotify if you're interested in Monster of the Week podcasts. We love to do them there. I'm going to be playing the Trisannas, aka Tris. She is she/her, so am I, and she is a Wildland Seeker.
Boy, I'm Cyber. I found out the country crock isn't butter, and I'm real upset about it. I use he or any pronouns. I play Rakel. Rakel is a human shaman, she/her.
What do you mean by that?
It's not butter. It's vegetable oil spread. It's
I
margarine.
can't believe it.
I can't.
If this thing does not have butter in it, I am going to scream.
Hello, everybody. I'm the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be playing as Carruthers Edelweiss, also known as Ruth to his friends. He's going to be a human ranger, going by he, him pronouns.
That just leaves me. Hey, everybody. I am Wings, also known as Danae Keener. Today, I am running this game, this 4th edition adventure of my own making, Gold Rush. Let's get into the recap. I can't look at Simon when I do this shit. Okay. Hey, recap. The posse met Sparky, a washed-up ex-member of the Parcel Ponies, also known as the Parcel Concordance. Kid spoke privately with him on the matter of the Wayward Son's secret treasure, which Sheriff Hall is obsessed with, and could be an asset in his defeat if the posse were to find it first. Tris speaks with a ghost named Cook and asks him to spy on the sheriff. Rakel rode out to the Squall Wastes and found hoof prints in its wake. Sparky agreed to help the posse take out Sheriff Hall since he doesn't like him very much, but also admitted to wanting his horse back, which was taken by the Squall. On their way back to the Lotus Garden, the posse was accosted by Deputy Hawthorne and his golden boys. Things came to blows, in a manner of speaking. The posse quickly dispatched the golden boys, leaving one alive to question and then send on to help Glimmer. I believe that the one remaining one was called Austin, the lasso
Austin
lawman.
the Lawman.
Austin the lasso lawman. Okay, and so when we left off, he was walking on foot into the sunset. Sunrise. He'd be going east. Um, he went that way, and hopefully he'll make it to Glimmer and help those folks out. But in the meantime, you guys are in the Lotus Garden. And when we left off last time, I reckon it's time for y'all to make a plan on what you're going to do.
So we are in the Lotus, correct?
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, take stock. How's everybody doing? Y'all injured?
Yeah.
All right. Tris, how you doing?
You're muted, hon.
She's hurt so bad she's silent.
LB.
I'm not muted.
Oh, you're too far
You're
away
just
then.
far from the mic.
I'm sorry.
Can't hear you for
I
shit,
just play
honey.
a quiet
When you-
character.
Exactly. When you tested your mic earlier, you
I
used
was
Gwen's
doing my
voice.
Yeah.
Whoops. I'm slightly hurt, but I'll be all right. Thank you.
I know we got a first aid kit here somewhere. I can go rustle that up. Kid says as he groans as he stands and limps away.
It also seems to be hurt. I think that being that you are in the Lotus Garden, Tina, the bartender, will push you back into your seat, and go find a first aid kit. And as she like loudly goes like rummaging around for it, word spreads that Kid is hurt. And he is eventually doted on by no less than 5 ladies.
No,
Who
I'm
are
fine, please. No. not in front of my friends.
not like this.
Not like this. I always thought I'd die drowning in dust, not boobies.
Likewise, several other girls will come and help patch everybody up.
Ruth surprisingly only took damage from himself last round, and it got healed up by dear friend Rakel. It was fine.
Incredible.
Yeah, Triss is. Oh, I almost said Gwen. Triss is at 4 health, so she says she's fine. She's got quite a few broken branches right now.
Do I have anything to help with that? I don't think so.
I can allow you to spend a healing surge. I'm not sure how much that helps.
I'll be fine as long as we don't fight anything else today.
Hold on, let me check on. I'm also here. My name's Sparky. Sparky took one lick, and he seems to be fine mostly. Like I think he plays it up a little bit, but the girls aren't having it. They just kind of toss him. I guess like I imagined they would toss him a bag of frozen peas, but that's not really a thing here, is it?
A steak. Like a really cold steak.
Sure. Go for that.
Honestly, out of everyone here, Triss is the most fucked up. So
Yeah, y'all can go ahead and take a short rest. Refresh your encounter powers, and go ahead and spend healing surges, as many as you need.
I think I only need 2.
I listened back to last week's game and we made sure to award your action point for your second encounter for the day, so we've reset that timer.
Do I have any encounter powers? Most my crap's daily. Okay.
Let me scoot you guys off of this battle map and put you in the landing page.
Ah.
I can go grab Sparky too. He can hang out next to you guys.
Before Austin had left, one of the questions I had thought over the week was, does the sheriff hall have a system to where when he goes out, or does he pick a random spot on the map and just go?
That's a good question. I don't think Austin has the authority to know that information.
Cool. If we could find out where he's going next, we might be able to ambush him out in the ramble.
He would just go off alone.
No, he would definitely have people with him, but it beats fighting in town where he has even more reinforcement.
Do you know when he goes out? Or
Austin, are you at that pay grade where you would know when?
Last week Triss spoke with a ghost and sent it to spy on the sheriff's domicile. So you may have information incoming in that regard.
I mean, if all else fails, I mean, he's looking for you. We can leave. We can go out into the ramble and have him follow us.
True.
Or just, have someone go snitch and say, I saw Kid, he was in town, then he ran out, south or something like that.
I could tempt him. Have someone run up there and say that I took out all of the lasso lawmen by myself, implying that I got all the gold. Would draw him out real quick.
Just sort of like laying across several bar stools, just like the meat slapped over his eyes. Sparky kind of like raises one finger and says, sorry, you started giggling and you set me off. He raises one finger and he's all like, that's kind of a risky move, don't you think? Facing him head on like that?
Right, especially just after a battle.
I wouldn't do it immediately. That would be that'd be very dumb of me.
But I'm saying,
Sure.
like, if we could like find a defensible place in a direction in the ramble, I mean, we could potentially bait a trap.
It's a good idea. Carruthers, it looks like you're about to explode.
I just want to throw out there, I think it's a terrible idea, and I don't think that we should do it at all, but I am possessed by the idea of chasing that man into the Squall. Like, knowing the Squall is coming, he's on a horse. That way, if the horse starts moving, it might buck him off and catch every one of his men off guard. Whereas if we know where it's coming, we can be more prepared for the weird thing that sucks up horses.
It sure is something.
Where'd
you say you found this man?
We drove my train car home here until it was shattered by a bigger train.
I found all these people falling in a briar patch.
It was that same time that my train car exploded.
I was drunk in a bar.
Was it also in that bar?
Sparky's gonna sit up, sort of gingerly place that steak on the counter next to him, and he's gonna turn around and like order a drink from Tina.
Well, I think for the moment we should perhaps stay here, rest up a bit, and perhaps collect ourselves before we come up with a new plan.
That is a very fair assessment, Miss Triss.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna argue with you there. And he's just like popping open a bottle.
Couldn't hear a word you said.
I
Oomst.
said,
Oh,
is there a chef here, Mr. Kid?
Oh, yeah, I could try and rustle up something from the back.
No, I was wondering if there were any spices or such that I could bring to my new ghostly friend, chef.
Need a
Cook?
friend with a.
Cook. He was out behind the jailhouse.
As you're saying this, you swing back around to Kid, and he has his eyes wide open, staring at you, like he's literally seen a ghost.
what does his eyes look like when they're open?
There, when his eyes are open, there is no like sclera or iris. It is just like this perpetual storm that rolls through. And then you blink and his eyes are closed again. Uh, yeah, I could ask Miss Trina if they got some spices in the back.
Wonderful.
How was he? That chef ghost friend of yours?
Seemed well fed, happy, content with cooking where he was. He said he'd help us. He's the one who's going to go get information on the sheriff.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Excuse me.
It would seem that our friend knew this cook, though the name of a profession does not also constitute a name for a person.
RJ slides in. It is Cooke. Slides away.
Correcting in the notes. Cook.
I come back with some spices from the kitchen. DM
Yeah,
with the
you
cattail
can.
mustache.
Had some Sam Elliott vibes there for a second. Yeah, you can come back with some spices from the kitchen. What are you grabbing?
Some oregano, some
Oregano.
some sage, some jasmine, if we have
Mhm.
it.
Sure. There's like the cabinets are well stocked with tea mostly. But they got salt and several different kinds of dried peppers. Um, and they have we'll say an herb garden out back. You can go grab some fresh branches of various herbs.
Thank you. Did you know this cook?
Yeah, I did. He was one of the members of the Wandering Sun.
Wayward Sons.
Wayward Sons. I keep thinking wandering.
Carry
Prodigal,
on.
that's the word. Wayward.
It's
Wayward
fine.
Sons.
Oh, I see. And this was one of your father's.
Yeah, for the most part. Taught me some basic survival things, how to stitch myself up, and how to make a simple beans over toast over a campfire.
Beans over toast. I'll have to try that sometime. Is there anything you'd like me to say to him when I see him next?
Sorry I couldn't be there. I couldn't have been there.
In my experience with those that have passed on, they're not looking for apologies. They know.
If I think of anything later tonight, I'll tell you.
All right. Take your time.
He was the
Would
only
you
one
like...
of us. Sorry.
Please.
I wonder if it has something to do with being imbued with law, because he was the only one of us who didn't have that gift. And apparently now he's sticking around as a ghost, so.
Well, if you like, I can look for the others.
Nah, I don't think I could take that disparaging. That's four dads just talking your ear off. I'd rather you not.
Trust me, your fathers are not going to be the ones even worst on my charts. Have you ever met a rich person?
Once at gunpoint.
Well, most times when those people who have a lot of material wealth pass on, they spend a lot of their time in the afterlife talking about how they shouldn't be there and how it's not fair and how it's if only they could have 1 minute back, they shouldn't be dead and all that, and it's draining on the constitution, if you understand me.
Um, but yeah, thank you, Miss Triss, and if Cook does swing by, tell him I said hi.
Of course. When you rest up.
Yeah, kid'll slink off upstairs to one of the rooms.
Triss drinks her water at the bar.
Was this so this conversation, like, you two stepped aside to discuss this at the bar, right?
I think it was literally Triss was at the bar, Kid walked away to get herbs, came back to the bar and
Okay.
gave Triss herbs.
Gotcha. Rakel, what would you have been doing during this time?
Raquel's just like sitting at one of the tables with a little notebook out, and she's just like sort of scribbling. She's like sort of uh putting as much of the like map of the area that she remembers, um, and is just sort of thinking about like where um might be good places to look for something. Um, After a few minutes, she's going to get up and say, I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
You need any company?
If you want.
I wouldn't mind to stretch these old bones of mine.
Okay.
And I think Ruth will like hop off his little stool, and he will just like take his mug to go. Just join Raquel on a walk.
All right. Raquel is pointedly leaving the town. Raquel's going hunting.
Sounds good. Let's get some scraps.
Awesome. Do you guys want to have a conversation? Should we resolve a role for the hunting, or where are we going here?
So I think Ruth at some point, before they hit the hunting spot, or maybe after. But I think Ruth would ask, so, to my understanding, you're looking for a ritual caster to help find your friend?
I found my friend. I just need to figure out how to restore him. If I can't find a ritual caster, I mean, I might as well try to figure out how to do it myself.
Rakel, you seem incredibly skilled, very talented, and I have no doubt that you will excel if you put your mind to it. I have a question, though. In a sense, do you think that we're the people that are going to help get you where you need to go? Because I like to believe that we are. But I know that the direction of your path might stray differently than ours. And I'd appreciate you sticking around.
Where's your path going?
To make sure that I don't see Kid in a grave. He said he needed a guide through the Palisades. I've been about halfway through there before. He seems like the right kind of people where you get on through those big mountains and we finally be able to see that there other ocean. Can't remember the name of it, though, but I know it's there. I'm out here doing this because I care about the people that I'm traveling with, and I want to make sure I do the best that I don't see them die.
How long can you keep doing that?
I would say till my legs buckle, but that didn't stop me before. I'm going to keep fighting, toughing it out for what I believe in, because I know at the end of the day it's going to work out just fine.
What about the times where it doesn't? What about the times where it didn't? You look like you've seen a lot. What about the time? How do you come back from the times where things don't turn out all right?
Because the things that don't turn out right are what give you reason. When you find out what it is you're fighting for, it gives it a little bit of purpose, at least to a degree. Now, for me, when it didn't work out, when things didn't turn out right, that's when I knew what I was really fighting for. I'm fighting for the equivalent of a world where fighting isn't necessary. Where if you wanted to, you could just see the ocean. If you were hungry, you got food. Gold-Tooth Joe had more than enough money to last him a lifetime. Why not give some of that back so that everybody can have a chance at something? If that's where Kid wants to go, I'll take him there. But right now, that's what I'm fighting for.
It's funny what you said. The place that you're looking for, it sounds a lot like home.
You have an ocean?
No, we just
Place where everybody takes care of everybody.
for the longest time, we didn't. It wasn't until very recently that that fight was something that you had to do.
But I guess that's the question. And the answer in and of itself. Do you feel like it'll be worth it when things are said and done? If it means saving your friends, saving your family, or people who deserve better. Sometimes people who deserve worse. You choose to help. I appreciate that about you. Now, anyways, these rabbits aren't going to try and catch themselves.
I rolled 19.
Oh shit!
That's good. I reckon you get a night's worth of rabbits. Enough to feed the posse at the very least.
I helped.
And I helped. Nice.
You were there.
I was too busy waxing poetically. You were like, yep. Kill.
For sure, for sure. What is y'all's passive perception, the both of you?
18.
22.
22. Okay.
The two best passive perception in the party.
Honestly, I want to say that like this conversation is probably happening. The both of you have rabbits hanging about y'all's shoulders as you're making your way back. And Ruth is waxing poetically. When Rakel, your ears pick up a strange sound, a rhythmic jingling,
Like
almost
spurs or
something like that. But there's too much of it.
does it sound like
And
it's approaching or
I wouldn't say so. Give me a active perception check.
21?
21. You like stop to like try and locate the direction of the sound. It's a little bit to your left, far off enough that like, you know, you wouldn't immediately see it in the sagebrush and the and all the tumbleweeds, the thousands and thousands of tumbleweeds that plague this land.
Oh God.
Somewhere in the foliage, you do hear the sound of jingling, hoofbeats, and it's keeping pace with you. In fact, when you stop, the sound also stops.
I think Ruth is. Look, is this just Rakel that hears this, or do they both?
I think that Rakel hears it at first, and then when she starts reacting as though she hears something, Ruth can trail off with what he's saying, and take notice of what has caught her attention.
Okay.
Well, if we're being followed, I don't think it's a good idea to head directly back to the Lotus Garden.
Do you think there's a way that we'd be able to figure out what it is? Maybe one... no. Because that would break up the pairs rule.
Losing a tail from a predator is absolutely something that Chief would have taught Rakel. Can
Shove Ruth down to the ground and run. Sorry.
I'll survive.
The fact that he doesn't blame her at all. He's just like, this makes sense. Sorry.
What sort of role would it be to I guess try and lose a tail
Stealth.
through the nature.
Through the nature.
I can stealth.
I'm afraid it's a stealth check. I see how you're trying to finagle it. I'd be willing to let you do a nature check. How about the two of you do a group check and you roll nature and Ruth roll stealth?
26.
23.
Nice. That's I would say that's a success. Here's my question. Do you try to find out what was following you?
Ruth wants to, but if Rakel doesn't want to, then we don't have to.
No, Rakel absolutely wants to know what's following them.
Okay.
So that she can better figure out what she needs to use in the environment to help stealth, to help lose the trail. Like
Okay.
if it's just an animal, then looking for running water to confuse any sense of trails. If it's
identify the direction of the wind so that you know where the scent is traveling.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd say that's Rakel's contribution is the logistical nature side of things. Ruth's contribution is just the very straightforward, let's not make a noise, let's not be seen.
It's the equivalent of the Jason Voorhees walk, where like you can just like silently follow somebody while kind of speed walking but ever gaining pace.
Okay.
That's what they're doing right now, is like silently speed walking, because I don't think Ruth has to really teach Rakel much about like how to step on leaf. I think Rakel is like pretty well trained in that as well.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So how do you try and identify the thing that's following you?
Ruth would ask, are you able to see through Morabek, or is Morabek like its own thing?
No, Morbek's his own man.
Would you be able to send them forward and hang back? Like either go forward with you, I hang back, or myself and Morabek go forward, then you hang back. So that way it still hears footprints.
I don't like that.
I know, it's a bad idea. I could no, I'm not a rogue. I can't say. I'll just be really sneaky about it. Because we don't have the things to set up a trap. Yeah, we could ascend. We could go up into the trees or something.
Okay. Not much in the way of tall trees in this area, but you could try and find a bluff.
Yeah. somewhere where it could be like, if anything, the hobbits with the ring wraith, when it like first peeks over and they get a good glimpse at it, but it can't see them.
Sure.
Something similar.
So, just to be clear, are you the hobbits or the ring wraith in this situation?
We'll be the hobbits. Not
Okay.
like that close, but like
Okay.
close enough, like
So
in a no.
so what you could do,
Yeah.
what you could do is get real low to the ground, and even like crawl under some briars. So if you are noticed, it would be hard to get to you.
Yeah, Ruth's in it.
Okay. You do that, and it becomes pretty clear that the thing that is following you is on horseback. Because you can see four knobbly legs, a saddle, some hooves.
Are we able to see like a rider at all, or is it just a horse without a saddle?
From this close
Or
to the
horse with a
bottom,
saddle.
or from this close to the ground, it's hard to tell.
Ooh, I want to do it so bad. Rakel, do you think it's a good idea to try and get a better
I
look?
don't.
It shifts a little. You hear jingling. There's a glimmer from the saddle. From where you're sitting, you can see that there are these strings of golden beads just sort of laying, hanging from a fringe that goes the circumference of the saddle, just like all around the edge of it. And as it moves, you can tell that it doesn't seem there's anybody on its back.
Huh. Ruth looks at Rakel, like shrugs, like, do we confront this horse?
Is there any spiritual disturbance coming off of the horse, or like moving
Give
away
me a
from the
roll.
horse?
Give me a roll.
Is
Absolutely,
this horse
give me a roll.
cursed?
First horse?
Cursed horse.
First horse?
21 if it's nature.
This horse feels strangely incomplete on a spiritual level. It smells like the Squall.
Where are we at in the Squall cycle?
That's a good question. I would say that you're not necessarily in the path of the Squall, but you're not far from it. I wouldn't say it's coming towards you. I would say it's moving away from you at this point.
I don't have like an animal handling skill or anything like that, I don't think either.
It would honestly be nature. I forgot how much just falls under the nature umbrella in 4th edition. It's ridiculous.
I believe that's called a canopy wings.
Ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. If I have a nature umbrella, it's actually going to be a cute little leaf or maybe a mushroom.
The big leaf is a big seller for me. So for yeah, Ruth is just going to refer to Rakel. Because he doesn't know it smells like missing pieces and the Squall and things.
Yeah. Let me be clear. It is physically here. It is spiritually incomplete.
Yeah.
And just being near it, Rakel, you have not been in this world for long, but you have learned the smell of gold. And it's drenched. It's I don't know how to explain it other than you have been around a fresh kill before. You have been around gallons of blood. Like the smell of like iron in freshly spilled blood is very similar to the smell of gold, and it's almost sickening the amount there is coming off of this beast.
Does it okay? Does it seem like the spiritual incompleteness of the horse is like is the gold keeping it from becoming spiritually complete? Like
There's a lot of nuance to this sort of thing.
like imagine if you would
Sure. I'm following you.
uh a gold tooth,
Okay.
a gold filler, like
Yes.
where the things have been missing from this thing, the gold is there to fill in the space and make it so that nothing else grows there via either infection or any actual bone that is
Okay.
supposed to heal and replace it.
Right.
Is the gold being used to fill in like a simulacrum of it, or to like as a control mechanism in
I-
lieu of some animus, or
I like where you're going with this. I like your analogy, actually. The idea of gold filling a wound that prevents contamination, that prevents outside influence. I think it has that effect, whether it was intended or not.
does it feel as if removing that gold
Mm-hmm.
would allow Rakel to try and heal its spirit?
You almost feel like you're being dared to.
All right, Ruth. I don't think we can get out of this tail. But I feel like I can do something here.
I'll follow your lead.
We need to basically get up close to it, and then I need both of us. Yeah, look, you're a lot better with law than I am, but I need the gold in that horse gone.
You got it. All right, so do you get the sense that it's like gold hungry? Like it's craving gold? Is it like
No,
part of its horse curse?
No, I think that imagine if you would go to
Oh, I see. So it's used to
like
stop
it's sort of acting like
and
it's sort of
infections.
acting like a prosthesis.
Your village had dental. That's insane.
Well, oh no, we didn't have dental, but people lost their arms,
Fair enough.
and we made do.
Yeah, so I think if we're planning on like pincering this horse so it doesn't run away or get scared or get scared,
Okay.
we got nature. Cyber and I got nature for days.
You sure do. Is that the idea? Is that we're
Well,
gonna
well, I think the ambushing of it would be more stealth.
Yeah.
more stealth?
I can
Yeah.
if I roll the stealth
Uh-huh.
and you roll nature, we
Uh-huh.
can try and do this again to tame a wild possessed horse.
Mm.
Cursed horse. All right. I will do my best to lead the sneaky charge. A 21.
That's on the stealth.
Should I also roll stealth?
I will roll because I was figuring I was rolling stealth to like stop the horse, and you were gonna roll nature to then like get
Yeah.
close to the horse.
Let's describe actions first, and then
Yes.
we can inform the success of said actions with some rolls. You can keep the roll that you just did, but tell me what you're doing.
Okay. So I am at this point we are behind this horse. So Ruth, I think, is going to crawl backwards through the briars so that he can go down, kind of down and around to meet it in front. So that way it'll see it visually before it smells him or any of those kinds of things, like go down, go upwind of this creature, which at this point they are. They have done an Uno reverse on a predator. So then kind of come out in front, and then just sort of like stay low. Like Ruth has been around many a horse, and he is approaching with like showing his hands, like being very like
Okay.
trying his best
So
to like not make a big deal about the fact that he came from the woods to this horse.
so you're trying to run the distraction?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Rakel doing?
Rakel is I guess sort of flanking, and in the intent is to help Ruth get the law out of the horse and attempt to heal its spirit.
Okay. In the past, in order to take law from something, for example, the statues that were veined with law by Missy, you had to make physical contact.
Mhm.
Okay. So you intend for Ruth to do the taking of the law?
I intend for both of us to.
Okay.
Touch that horse.
Okay. You get on either side of the horse. And Carruthers, I imagine the horse kind of has its back to you. And you are approaching carefully, like arms up so that like, if you startle it, like maybe it'll read your intentions, which, you know, you're trying to project as pure. When you realize that it does not have its head down, it does not have its head up, and as it begins to turn, you come to the conclusion that there simply is no head at all.
Ghost horse.
And Rakel, you approach and come to the same conclusion almost simultaneously. And there is a one hoofbeat as it's turning towards. Which of you rolled the did I
I-
have you roll yet, Rakel? Roll for me.
Okay. What am I rolling? Am I rolling stealth?
Um It honestly depends on your approach, because you said that you said that you're just coming up on the other side of it, right? Is this a stealth move, or are you trying to horse girl it? Are you
I'm
sneaking up
I'm
on it?
I'm kind of trying to horse girl it.
All right,
Horse
then give me a
girl, the
nature check.
headless horse.
Oh my
Yes!
fucking god!
35.
Natural 20, horse girl. In my Wild West
Silly.
game.
But those are Pathfinder numbers. What are you doing with the 35?
Oh, oh, I couldn't be happier. Rakel, the horse turns towards you. You both come to the same conclusion at the exact same time, that this horse has no head. And it turns towards you and clearly does not acknowledge you as a threat. It simply steps once, kind of looks at you, like not with its head, obviously, but like it regards you. And then it begins to slowly approach you.
Put my hand on it and try to take its law.
Okay. You put your hand on it. And you are overwhelmed with the desire to get on its back.
What's Ruth doing?
Ruth was like, the plan was for both of them to touch it and then dust the gold from it. So that's what Ruth was doing. He's touching like its flank. He's touching the back hind of this creature.
You come up behind it and you touch it?
Like on the side.
Okay.
Like if Rakel has come from the front, like Ruth had to have come from the side to like establish it a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, he's going to touch it as well. We're gonna try.
As soon as Ruth makes contact with it, it's going to rear and kick and move to run away. Rakel, you have a split-second decision to make here. You can either jump on its back or you can let it go.
We're wrangling it.
Yes.
Okay.
We are wrangling.
Amazing.
So
Okay.
yeah, Rakel's jumping on.
Would it
Rakel,
be...
this horse is faster than you have ever witnessed. Rakel swings onto the back of the horse, and it is off like a shot. Ruth, you are left in the dust, and the horse is bolting away.
Start.
It's running after it.
Trying to run after this fucking horse.
I'll put more back behind me.
Oh my god, if I can hop onto Morabek at some point to like keep pace with this creature.
It's
So
hard. Like you're jumping onto what is essentially jello
Yeah.
that then solidifies underneath you and then sort of feels like meat.
He's gonna put that away in the box that he'll never open because he's old. Just not gonna deal with it.
I'll just put all my emotions right here, and then one day I'll die. Okay. The horse bolts. Rakel summons Morabek, and Ruth hops on his back. And Morabek takes off after the horse. Rakel, this isn't dissimilar from riding Morabek, but it's invigorating. It's exhilarating. It's the fastest you've ever gone. And normally when you're riding a horse, there would be like, a head in front of you. So it would like break the wind in front of you. There's none of that. It's like riding a Corvette with no windshield. Like the speed is insane.
Uh, if Rakel can hang on, especially, considering that there is a saddle, um, she is going to continue hanging on and all the while still try to replace the golden law with natural law.
Okay. Give me a nature check.
That's the opposite.
Ooh.
I would like to use an action point. How many action points we got?
I have 2 right now.
You
Cool.
should have at least one because we
got
got
one.
one at the end of the last encounter.
Okay, this one's not a 1.
Okay.
It's a 27.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Aren't you tired? Hasn't this been a lot of work for not a lot of reward? Don't you wish you could be free?
Damn it, there's no button for that. I'm like, oh, I can't roll my AC or my will.
Mm-mm. No. Technically I would have to attack you.
Yes, this is a whole lot for absolutely nothing. But the sense of a reward is not something that Raquel really thought about going into this.
You begin to
So,
realize that you are rapidly approaching the squall. And the dust that kicks up into the air feels like knives on your skin. Doesn't it hurt? Holding on? Wouldn't it be easy to just let go?
of course it does. When have I ever done this the easy way? I would like to heal this horse.
You're gonna heal the horse. As in, like, heal it like a dog, or heal it as in give it hit points?
I mean, I would like to rip out the gold spiritual prosthesis and attempt some healing.
Cure that horse.
Okay. Give me one more nature check.
19.
Okay. Let me look something up real quick. Okay. The wind is howling in your ears. The jingling of the saddle is almost deafening. The horse's hooves beat the earth like a drum. And all you can think to yourself is, you've got to pull this tooth. So you reach down to where the horse's head should be, and you grasp instinctually at where the gold is, and you pull. Go ahead and add 271 gold to your character sheet.
Talk to you later.
You take 37 bludgeoning damage as the horse dissipates from underneath you and you go tumbling to the ground. That's 3 10s that I rolled on 4d10.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Rakel's down.
Oh no.
Fubada, 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 fubada.
How does Morabek function when Rakel is knocked down?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Is that true?
That
Okay,
feels
what's
about right?
Morbek's speed is the same as yours, right?
No, it lasts until you fall unconscious. So yeah, Morabek dissipates from underneath me. You said it was 4d10?
He doesn't run as fast as the horse does, so let me just
3d10.
Kid, you were telling me about this sarsaparilla. Now, what is that made of?
I just wanted to get some fucking dinner.
Now you see, sarsaparilla is actually a root.
Oh, from the sarsaparilla tree.
Correct.
I thought it might.
9 bludgeoning damage for Ruth.
That is not even close to the same number.
Yeah, the disparity. Oh my god.
Rakel
3
has,
10s!
Rakel has
I rolled
36
3
hit points.
10s!
You were over by 1! Oh
Oh my god.
We rolled
Rakel-
37.
Rakel, the last thing you hear before you hit the ground and everything goes black is, "You're just like everyone else."
So Ruth has been thrown to the ground.
Yep.
We are near the Squall.
Yeah, you can hear the winds. It's technically moving away from you, so you are safe to approach her and pick her up, but the sky is green. You can see the wall of the tornado in the distance. If Rakel had waited even moments longer, she would have been in the thick of it.
It doesn't look like she necessarily waited, to be fair. So yeah, Ruth is gonna go and get Rakel, stabilize her. I just like get us the fuck out of this tornado.
Yep. I think we're going to leave Ruth and Rakel as Ruth stabilizes her, throws her over his shoulders with the rabbits, and he starts hobbling back to the Lotus Garden. Where are we on time?
We are relatively
Yeah,
close to break.
I think we're good to go to break now.
Okay. So we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see all you acorns shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. Hello, everybody. We have returned from our break. Danae, take us away.
Sure thing. Let's cut back to the Lotus Garden real quick. Does any conversations happen whilst our brave hunters are out gathering foods?
Triss finds out that kid can play the guitar, as there are just little soft notes floating down from where he's staying.
Aw,
Is that lizard folk
nice.
still around?
Sure.
Bruno? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Triss will make polite conversation with him.
Sure.
What's he like?
He's the kind of guy who mostly likes to listen. So, like, if you ask questions, he'll answer them, but he's not like if you ask him questions, he'll answer them, but then he'll follow up with a question of his own. And if it seems like you're about to trail off and finish saying what you're talking about, he'll typically have another question ready.
Yeah, she's very happy to fill the time with speaking to him.
There's the sound of clattering glass as it seems that Sparky has dutifully emptied his bottle and is now snoring at the bar.
Hmm. Well, I suppose he needed a rest. It was an eventful day.
I don't think that guy's gonna pay his tab anytime soon.
Well, if it is left unpaid, I'm sure that kid will cover it. Did you know him as a youngin?
When he was a youngin' or me?
Him.
You mean kid?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew him.
What was he like?
Always running around, getting himself into trouble. He really needed something to keep him occupied, so I taught him a little bit on the keys.
I see. Where did you learn these skills on the keys? I very much enjoyed your performance.
I was taught when I was a kid.
Wonderful. Have you been here long?
He nods.
Seems like it was a nice place. This place is very nice. I'm glad that you've settled in.
It's a good place to live.
Are you going to do another performance today?
Would you like me to?
I would, if you don't mind.
Any requests?
Hmm. I think most of the songs I know you wouldn't. From the groves, as it were.
Try me.
Hmm. The Ballad of the Sugar Glider. Dun 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 dun.
That's not quite a ballad, but alright.
Ballad is in quotes.
He surprises you by actually knowing quite a few Grove songs.
She is taken aback.
Like
If a
he
tree could
has you
blush.
suggest a few, and then he surprises you by playing another one unprompted. One that's a little bit less known in the Grove.
Hmm. Well, how do you know these wonderful songs? Not many people outside in the cities know of my kind at all.
Oh, this isn't a place that's very city-like, if you know
That's
what I'm
fair.
talking about.
Hmm. Well, that was a lovely treat to have a taste of home. I haven't been in quite some time myself.
Then what are you doing out here?
Traveling, making acquaintances, making a little money for my people. Trying to keep things protected as much as possible.
Sounds hard.
It can be. I'm not overly fond of people who only think of themselves, and out here there are quite a few people like that.
It's a rough place. The Ramble, in general. It'll chew you up and spit you back out. I can
Oh,
see why a lot of people are just looking out for themselves.
I think having seen all of the dead and converse with those that have passed on. The ones that find the most happiness and move on quickly are the ones that do things for others and find fulfillment in that. Most people who are stuck because they're so consumed with their own feelings and thoughts that they can't quite fathom it being over.
Kind of looks at you, and his like third eyebrow, his third eyelid just sort of like slides over his eye.
Mhm. She gives him a smile. Well, our friends have been gone for quite some time. Kid, are you upstairs or downstairs?
He would have come back after a
Mhm.
bit of like thinking they have been gone for a
Mhm.
while. So he's like currently standing at the banister, like just leaning over it, watching Rakel and Bruno talk.
I am Triss.
Oh, Tris, sorry.
Uh,
Bruno's talking to the
You
dead.
sure are.
Also, I had the very big joke that, like the real Bruno Mars, Bruno is stuck here because of his debt.
Whack.
They said that wasn't true.
It's still funny.
Yes, it is. A kid,
Yes, ma'am.
our companions have been gone for quite some time. Should we perhaps check on them, or I mean,
Yeah.
and
I was
know
about
they're
to pop out
capable.
for a smoke myself and maybe take a look around.
well, I shall join you in the doorway.
Thump, 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 draws coat over self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Triss walks to the doorway. If you light up a cigarette, she like takes a step back from you.
He gives you a respectable distance
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
blowing in your face.
Yeah. That we scan the horizon.
Oh, fire bad. Okay.
Mhm.
Connor! Sorry, I just looked over at chat.
The rumor come out. Does Bruno Mars is dead?
Does Bruno Mars is dead?
The rumor?
He has come out with his bad rumor.
Mhm.
Okay. You start scanning the horizon, and sure enough, you see sort of a shambling figure coming closer. And I'm gonna say kid can't see precisely what
Really?
is approaching. Uh yeah, just kid can't see, hard stop. But Triss, you do recognize the figure of Carruthers Edelweiss with Rakel slung over his shoulder.
Oh.
Is that some
I-
kind of...
I believe that is Ruth carrying our friend Rakel with some sort of furred creatures. Why don't you go help him?
Yeah, I'm gonna... Throw a cigarette in the dirt, stomps on it so the random tumbleweed doesn't catch fire on top of it.
It's like too late. The tumbleweed that's on fire goes off to like terrorize the town.
If only there was a bear to teach us a lesson about this.
Everything's in flames immediately. No. You stomp out that cigarette and you run up to go and
Ruthie, what the
assist
hell's
them.
happened?
All right, so there may have been a cursed horse. To start
What?
things off, she's not dead. Can we come inside?
Are you vampires? Do you need an invitation?
No, I just...
Get! He'll lift up Rakel's legs to help carry her in easier.
All right, so we went out on a hunt. We had a good chat, And then all of a sudden we started hearing spurs, and I was like, "Oh no, maybe it's somebody coming after us." And so Rakel decided that maybe we sneak ahead a little bit. And then we both decided that we wanted to see what it was, and then it ended up being like a shadowy ghost horse that was missing its head, and we also realized that it had like gold tooth powers. Where part of there was gold in it. Rakel does it better. Now, we decided that we were going to expel the bad gold from the horse and put in the good gold into the horse, if I understood Rakel correctly. Not good or bad gold, but like nature gold. And then Rakel took off. I hopped on Morbek. I followed, and that headless horse raced us almost directly into the Squall. And, well, it looked like Rakel was able to disintegrate the horse with the touch of a hand. I think she turned it into gold. And in doing so, fell a very long way. I am not exactly sure how that happened. I saw her fall, hit the ground, and then I myself took a tumble. I'm
Why don't
sorry
you
for speaking
sit
so
down?
loud. I was very close to a tornado.
That's all right. That's all right. Why don't you sit down? We'll lay Raquel down on a bench, and
Ooh.
I
So-
would like to try to heal her.
DM, I rolled in chat a history check to see if I recall what this is.
I noticed, yeah. It seems like they just had a run-in with the headless horse.
I'm not gonna say that. They're gonna question me as to why I didn't say anything about that.
You didn't think it existed!
There's a rumor, like an old ghost story about a headless horse that wanders the ramble where the cyclone goes.
Well, not anymore. It turned into, I didn't have time to check it, but guessing on my math somewhere, I'll be maybe one over of 270 gold pieces.
Kid is smart enough. He'll head over to Sparky.
Mm-hmm.
He'll kick one of the chair legs to wake him up.
He just sort of like mumbles and tries to brush you away.
Is your horse headless?
I'm gonna like poke his head up, turn around and squint at you.
Because they just ran into the headless horse out in the ramble.
And he goes, "Where?"
It was running towards the Squall. Met it in the wood. Is it your horse?
He gets up and he starts stumbling out, like, out of the lotus garden. And like he takes off his hat and he starts swinging it around. He's like, "You shameless hussy!"
It is a bad breakup.
So, if someone were to, so imagine a tooth.
He falls over,
Oh,
stands
I
back
really didn't
up,
want to have to tell him.
starts kicking his hat,
Why
falls on
don't
the
you?
ground.
Oh,
starts
why
crying.
don't you come back inside, honey?
Kid just takes a bucket of water and
This sobers him up enough to lay on the ground without throwing a tantrum.
the sound of metal scraping as Kid takes him by the arms to drag him back inside so he's not causing commotion in the fucking street.
It's like the middle of the night too.
It
right?
is.
Like this is.
It is the
like
middle of the night.
It's the middle of the night, but I'm still a wanted man.
Yes, so is he.
Oh, God.
Could I try to heal Raquel?
Yes.
Please.
You may.
How do you?
You could technically take another short rest, and
Yeah.
Raquel, if you have any healing surges remaining, you can spend those.
I'm gonna pull some items out of my bag, some salves and mud type things, and I'm gonna start dressing the wounds, like putting mud over it, placing a leaf on top of it, put mud, leaf. Kind
That
of
works
just
for
make
me.
sure that she's not getting too warm.
Okay. Kid, you help drag Sparky back into the Lotus Garden. And he just kind of like slumps against you. And when you sit him back in his bar stool, he just kind of slumps back over onto the counter. You hear snoring.
He's gonna be useless till the morning.
So, what?
So,
We obviously can't tell him the truth.
okay, before we get into the logistics of lying to an old man about his favorite horse, what exactly? You said a headless ghost horse.
So, it was a horse, but it was missing its head. It had spurs on it. And Rakel did their her spirit sense thing. I honestly never really asked how it works, so this is my approximation. But was able to tell that there was external gold in the horse, and it was bad. I think from the squall.
Ooh, all right. So, my question was, could you see it?
Oh no, I touched it.
All right. So it was probably a spirit, not a ghost spirit.
Yes, but it
Right.
was. But maybe it's a cursed horse, but the horse is cursed, and not the horse deals in curses.
Why don't you grab a beverage? I'm gonna see if I can get Raquel to wake up.
Yeah, that'd probably be for the best. Ooh, sarsaparilla.
Ow.
Oh, honey. Try not to move too quickly. You have quite a few bruises on you.
What'd I miss?
Well, after, from what I understand, after you dispelled the creature spirit, you took a tumble, and Ruthie here brought you back, and you're back in the Lotus. I've dressed some of your wounds. Just let the mud heal, dry up a little bit, and it should do you some good.
There wasn't nothing left of it?
Not that I saw. After you did your thing, you fell right where it was.
So there wasn't left of it?
I don't believe so, unless I'm wrong. Boys in the sky.
Just the gold?
It disappeared.
It turned into gold. So if you're wondering where that horse went, check your pockets.
Oh. I I thought I was healing it.
Well, perhaps you were. You said there were 2 layers of gold on it?
I might not have explained it the best. Like I said, Raquel is much better at this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's sort of this horse was sort of stalking us, and I tried to get a sense of its essence, and it seemed like a lot of itself was sort of filled in with gold, but you, like a spiritual prosthesis.
I see.
So,
That is interesting.
so I thought I could maybe dress that wound. And I guess I took the whole damn thing with me.
Perhaps the amount of gold that was keeping it together was all that was keeping it together. Wasn't enough to be healed.
You hear a voice come from over by the bar. It'll come back. It always does. And you see Trina putting a blanket over Sparky.
What do you mean?
Trina, this thing was real this entire time?
Told you.
You told me to scare me and eat my vegetables. The ghost
Yeah,
horse is
well-
gonna get you.
I'll tell you a lot of things that to scare you. Gingivitis is real too.
No, I know about that. That's why I got grandpappy the last time.
I'm not sure I know that one.
It's a disease of the gums if you do not... You know, I'll get into it later.
Tooth decay. Scary fingers.
Back to the topic at hand.
So a headless horse has been disintegrated before and then also came back?
It meets all sorts of grizzly ends. But it usually likes to if something's on its back. She goes over behind the bar and starts up a pot of tea. It's bad news. You should stay away from it.
Know what it is. Is
So-
it a nature spirit?
Who knows? Maybe a ghost.
What did it feel like, Rakel?
Carrion. With the gold that I have on me, does it still feel like it has the essence of the horse, or does it just feel like gold?
That's a good question. It would be narratively interesting if gold could have a trace of where it came from, right?
For like a time, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
So does it feel like an animated creature, or does it feel like the saddle and accoutrement?
Be more specific about your question.
Am I feeling the whole of the horse or just the prosthesis?
Just the part of it. I think that yeah, I think that specifically this gold here feels like the prosthesis. It feels like an extension of something rather than its whole.
Okay.
Incomplete. What you have here is essentially a pulled tooth.
Wonder. Strictly speaking, you can always disassemble something if it has enough gold in it, but from what I've been told, a little bit of something's kept in gold when you pull it out. Could we just, I don't know, return a piece of it and track it down if you're so gung-ho about it?
have no inclination at this point to worry about that horse right now. I'm focused on getting Rakel back to where she needs to be, especially. We're just going to have to deal with this horse eventually, if we want his help.
Says to the drunk, passed out guy asleep at
Wait,
the
is
bar.
his horse?
Apparently, threw a tantrum while you were knocked out about the horse being a hussy.
Wait, is that real? Is that he
From my
owns
understanding.
a headless horse?
That's
I don't
what I
think
gather.
anybody can own an animal.
They were compatriots of sorts.
But the way y'all were talking about it, it kind of came across as just like a bad omen. And since I pulled this thing out and it disappeared, doesn't seem like it's in the habit of staying around. How is this Sparky's companion?
Like, that's the question we have to ask a awakened sober Sparky.
Trina kind of grimaces. You know, I never really asked him about it. He seemed awful sore.
I get the feeling.
I mean, I figured something must have happened, you know. She just sort of like draws a thumb across her neck. Poor guy's always running after that horse. I don't really have the heart to tell him he should probably give up. I reckon that thing's long gone.
What was its disposition, Raquel?
He was stalking us for a while. And then I kind of was able to calm it, touch it, show it that I didn't mean it any harm. But as soon as Ruth touched it so that we could get the gold off of it, it bolted. I and headed straight for the Squall.
So it responded favorably towards you.
Toward me, yeah.
You were close enough? You were that close enough to touch it. And
Yeah,
you,
we both were. But it like came up to me.
you lived to tell the tale?
Barely.
Am I dead? I hurt a
She ain't
whole
dead,
lot.
right?
No.
Like turns towards Triss.
Triss like looks at Rakel, thinks for a second.
I don't. No. I don't think so.
How many beats were on its saddle? She like looks genuinely interested. She's like asking you the same way that like somebody asks like how many baseball cards do you have?
Dude, I remember I was on that saddle for a minute.
I doubt that you thought to count those beads, and it was a lot. It was a lot.
A lot. Uh, Raquel
Got a
has
ballpark?
the 271 gold worth in a big mushy pile. This
She
much. There's
kinda
more.
like
There's more than just the bees, so
she looks at that and just sort of like tries to like count them up super quick. And she like sort of she's in like her pajamas with like a shawl over her shoulders. She turns around with that mug of tea, sort of tapping her chin. Um, she goes like to the back of the bar and she like pulls like a rug off of something, and you see that there's a saddle in the back of the bar. And she sort of like lifts a tassel of beads off of the saddle and says, "This is 50. So if, just for your frame of reference, this right here is 50. Like, how many of these do you think was on there? Maybe."
I would. Cyber is estimating like 3 because I'm assuming that a lot of the rest of the law was the actual prosthesis, not part of the saddle.
Sure. Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, so 3. 150.
She kind of like gives a sort of like, "Ha, I knew it" gesture. She like throws the rug back over the saddle.
Did I
Ella.
miss something in the conversation? What are we talking about? Beads?
Now, kid, the amount of beads on a parcel pony saddle tells you how many successful deliveries they've made.
Right. Whoa. Looks
See,
over at Sparky. Whoa.
I joined the parcel ponies pretty late, so I gotta say I did some pretty good numbers in my time for the amount of time that I had. Um, I never actually knew him back in his parcel pony days, but spying his saddle from a distance, I reckon he must have had some good numbers. That's why I figure he might be able to help you.
Right.
Contrary to all other evidence.
Right. Kid reaches behind the counter for a bottle of whiskey. Reaches behind the counter again for a glass. So we're gonna take care of this problem later.
What do you want to do? Uh, I I was just planning on getting a couple of rabbits for dinner and possibly scope out any places where, if y'all want to go ahead with the whole lure them out into the ramble and find a defensible place to ambush them plan.
Right, I was supposed to be thinking about that. I want to see what Sparky has to say about this whole situation. If we can take care of the horse thing, that's one less thing off his mind so that he can protect us better.
And we won't have information about the sheriff until tomorrow. So it might be good to take the night, maybe keep watch.
Sounds to
Get
me
some
like the
good
only thing
sleep.
you can do tonight is lose sleep. Speaking of,
Tris glances over at Bruno for a second and then looks away.
okay. Trina's going to sort of start making her way back to her bedroom. Unless there's anything y'all need.
Have a good night, Miss Trina.
Mm-hmm. And she like turns the corner, sort of holding her tea up in the air.
So, do we have rooms here? Or were we supposed to ask for that before she left?
Could Kid fish for like some guest rooms that none of the girls are occupying, like keys, and
Mm-hmm.
lay them
Y'all-
out on the table?
Y'all can find some rooms. Though I gotta say, They are awful frilly.
Ruth's-
Satin everywhere.
His bed is in the shape of a heart.
Yeah.
You bump something on the table, the bed begins to spin.
You lay
This is
down,
kinda
there's a
nice.
mirror on the ceiling.
uh,
Humans are so vain.
Are we bunkmates for this interaction?
I was just thinking every room has something different in it.
I'm totally fine to just be like, well, it's very large, and if we just stay in like the big curve areas, we won't bump into each other.
I like
you
the
roll over and your head goes into crack.
I like the idea that every other room is just like very normal if fancy, and like somehow Carruthers just got the one
suite.
Yeah. The honeymoon suite, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Very silly.
So
All right.
Grandma Yuletide's is Christmas themed.
Anything else that happens this evening, my friends?
Kid'll stay up an extra like hour or two doing his little ritual thing where he takes a glass of alcohol, pours it over his bonded weapon, and just talks a little bit.
Okay.
Other than that, nothing.
All right. Kid goes out and performs the ritual, pouring the spirits over his weapon. And when he walks back into the building, there's a very familiar scent in the air. And it's the particular blend of herbs and spices that Cook would use when making breakfast.
He'll peek his head in the kitchen.
There is a freshly made tray of deluxe breakfast on the counter. Enough for everyone.
He'll put like pull a cheesecloth over it, so it's untouched in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He can just look over his shoulder as he's exiting towards that breakfast, and then like tilt his head to the side, and then go to bed.
Okay. I assumed that this was after you had woken up. That would happen in the morning. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. No, he's just gonna, plate himself up some breakfast.
Okay. It is morning. You all have had a long rest. Refresh your hit points, your healing surges. Your action point is now refreshed at 1. So you have only 1 action point at this point, at this time. And also what? Your dailies. You get your dailies back.
Ruth, you have a wonderful timbre when you sleep.
Oh,
It's very calm, almost like water.
I was unaware, but thank you.
Hmm.
I will do my best to have sweet dreams. Now, what
don't
do
need to worry
eat
about
for
that.
breakfast?
Oh, me? I was gonna make I slept like a log joke, but the time has passed.
No, that is on me. I probably should have returned the question of how did you sleep?
The question is, do you eat like a log?
Question is, if Bruna was there, would he be sawing logs?
Gross.
Got her!
No.
Doesn't that mean snoring? Doesn't that mean snoring? That means
Yes.
snoring.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. That's what we're gonna keep it as. Ruth, I eat not many things. I tend to stray away from meats, but I do partake from time to time if it's available.
Makes it easy. Just wanted to make sure. It's because based on this old sniffer, somebody's making a mighty fine brekkie downstairs.
Well, shall we? And she like puts her arm up.
quiet, and like he has to like stand very tall to get in because he is 5'2".
Oh, bless.
He's a short king.
He's small. Oh yeah, she's only 5'6", so she's not that
Okay,
much
yeah,
taller.
it's not too big of a difference.
I am finding that I'm making a lot of my characters just my height. I need to stop doing that.
I mean, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
How old is my character? I remember one number.
Actually, she's quite a bit older than I am, but yes.
Yeah, I think Ruth will walk with Rakel or with Triss down the stairs. I know. I don't know why.
You have two southern ladies who speak with spirits. It's not.
Look, no.
One of us
you
is going to
speak
have to
with-
change.
I'm a tree.
I'm not the only one.
Look, you're a person you're a being that speaks with spirits of the forest. I'm a forest person that speaks with spirits of the humanoids.
It's very simple.
Yeah, come on.
You guys come downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is the distinct smell of breakfast made in the kitchen. So everybody can go dish up some food. When you make your way to the main room, the spot that Sparky was in before has been vacated, and the blanket that he was under is just sort of discarded on the floor.
I hope he found his way to a proper bed.
If he went back to the prison.
Well, that is his choice.
Or in the middle of the night, he decided to go and find his horse. Kid is bellied up to the bar eating.
I don't think Raquel would have left where she was laying, which was probably in the main room. Would Sparky moving have woken her up?
Sure. Yeah. I want to say that about sunrise, you would have heard him stirring as he made his way out the front door.
Okay.
Would you have done anything about that?
Nope.
Okay.
Kid, what do you have on your plate there? That looks fantastic.
Beans, toast, eggs, blood sausage, regular sausage, bacon. Cook used to call it a full trail breakfast.
I see. Would you, only because I don't want to do it wrong, would you mind fixing me a toast and beans?
Sure, no problem. He'll spoon like another spoonful of beans in his mouth and just holds the spoon there as he walks into the kitchen.
She'll follow.
I'm gonna use a clean spoon, by the way. This is not a...
I'm not worried about your germs. I don't think they'll affect me in the way you think they do.
Cuts a slice of whole wheat from the loaf, fries it a little bit inside of a pan, then just puts beans on top.
Well, Kid is doing that. You hear next to you, Triss. Hope you like beans.
Well, I've had many different kinds of beans. Red beans are my favorite, but they are a delicacy and not found in these parts.
Yeah, crying shame. I'm afraid I had to deign to use canned beans. Seems that Sheriff Hall is a bit of a Philistine.
I see. Well, they look fantastic. Thank you for making us breakfast.
You are very welcome.
Little bit of salt, little bit of pepper, and the secret ingredient. Don't tell him I told you this, but it's garlic powder.
Tell who?
Cook, you're talking with him, correct? Like he's supposed to come by this morning and tell you what's what?
Yes, I'm sorry. There's as many people, so I wanted to make sure I had it clear.
Please don't tell him that I am deeply disappointed.
Understood. Well, I will.
Don't get me wrong, garlic powder is fine when you don't have anything else available, but there is a braid right next to him.
I can't see.
She places a hand on her shoulder and just gives it a pat. Thank you very much. She takes it out to the other room and takes a bite, chews on it for a bit, gives a face of, that's not bad, that's not bad, and then continues to eat for a bit.
I think Ruth's plate is just like a mountain of flapjacks, like
Mm-hmm.
bacon. Like he just like eggs, the whole 9 yards. Whatever is there, he is going to try and fit.
Flapjack eggs, flapjack bacon, flapjack beans.
Oh yeah,
flapjack
he's trying
eggs.
to make like an accordion of breakfast that he can then enjoy.
Beautiful. I love that. What is Rakel's preferred breakfast?
The rabbits that she got last night.
You would find that too has been cooked.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. If she finds the rabbits have been prepared without her, she will go ahead and eat them. And that will be the only thing on her plate. So kid, what's the plan?
Once we get that information from Miss Triss's contact, we'll head out, find an appropriate spot. Hopefully comes with more than just one locale so we can get ahead of the curve and then ambush them. Seeing as Sparky ain't here, I think he's doing his own business. Seeing as Sparky isn't here, I guess he's doing his own business.
Yeah, he walked out the front door not too long after sunrise.
Well, I shall make my way over to the jail and see if I can find our friend.
I can go rooting around outside of town,
For what?
see if he went after his horse.
Oh, I think we should stay away from outside of town for now. That didn't go in our favor yesterday.
Let's all, as a team, check on things when we are wanted at large in a town that's plagued by a cyclone filled with horses.
Generally speaking, I'm the only one wanted out of the lot of you.
No, we all are.
We all have posters.
And it was Dusty Devil or Dinkelberg or whatever his name was that he had all posters of us, but he works for the mayor.
True. Alright.
So if we go, we might as well go as a posse.
Alright. So we're heading to the jailhouse.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a bad start.
Alright.
To my knowledge, I think that's where that man sleeps.
Could be.
Alright. We'll head out after I'm done with dishes, so y'all get ready.
Okay. While you guys are getting ready, Triss, you can receive your report from Cook, who promised to give you a report on Sheriff Hall's residence at breakfast time.
Perfect.
Um,
Does he say anything about the breakfast?
what do you mean?
Because it's his normal meal that he has cooked. Is he
Mhm.
proud? Is he saying that they should have used more cilantro?
Well, he cooked it. He did it himself.
Oh, he cooked it. I thought she cooked it.
Who?
The
Trina?
mistress. Mm-hmm.
No.
Trina's the
Um,
barkeep.
He did some poltergeist bullshit. He made breakfast for y'all.
Ah, I love that.
When he's gonna hold me while I do pottery?
No. Uh, he does want to know if you enjoyed breakfast. He mentions all of the things that he would have done differently if he had access to his normal stock.
Body.
I see. It was fantastic, especially for being made by a poltergeist hands. I found the beans on the toast a great compliment as long as you ate it quickly. Once it started to get soggy, then it was a little texture weird, but I think that was my fault. But the garlic powder was very nice.
Well, I think you'd find if I had access to my normal stock of dried beans, that wouldn't have been as much of an issue. I had to use Sheriff Hall's canned beans, and that was a bit, not the right texture, I'm afraid.
I see. Well, did you happen to get? Thank you. Did you happen to get to? And the Triss is just over in the corner having a conversation. Again. And did you happen to find out any information for us?
I did. I don't believe that Sheriff Hall's chef has ever heard of a vegetable. It seems that they believe that the 4 basic food groups are beans, bacon, whiskey, and lard.
Not very good for the digestional tract.
I cannot imagine the state of their outhouse. He reaches into his coat and he slides you a piece of paper. And you look at it and it appears to be a copy of their food stores. And he explains to you that you can infer how many men Sheriff Hall has from the food stores. And
how many
there's
is that?
a lot, like upwards to like 80. And they are all holed up in Sheriff Hall's mansion.
Wow.
There is a side note that he can keep track of how many men Sheriff Hall has with him at the dig site by how much food that they take with them.
I see. How many does he take
Which
per
is a
day?
substantial amount of men still. Not as
Ah.
many that are at his mansion, but a lot. A concerning amount. To the point where you would feel that it would be a threat. And he also says, sort of dismissively, as a side note, Deputy Hawthorne came in last night, screaming up a storm. It seems that they've become aware of your presence.
Oh,
Speak your mind, RJ. You're not wrong.
He revived?
You will recall that you killed Deputy Hawthorne, and
Yes.
Technically speaking, Deputy Hawthorne aced himself.
yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, if you're speaking strictly, specifically.
Well, I appreciate that. Did they have any plans to come this way soon?
Not that I know of.
Wonderful. I shall
I would-
relay this.
I would watch your back.
Right. Are you going to be lingering around for a bit?
If you'd like.
I would. You were a father to our kid.
Of a
Is
sort.
that correct?
I'd say
He
so.
wanted me to let you know that he is sorry he couldn't be there. And, I think he hopes you're proud of him.
Of course. I think the rest of the sons would be proud of him too. I'm
Have
afraid I
any-
haven't. Go on.
You haven't what?
I haven't seen the rest of them.
So you weren't sure if they are lingering?
Give me a nature check.
Sure. 22.
Triss, you have had a working theory for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
You have never personally seen a law user as a ghost.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, I'm sorry you are alone here. Is there anything you'd like me to tell him for you?
Tell him less salt next time.
Of course. Just curious, do you have any embarrassing stories?
He sort of like he tips his glasses down his nose. And he says, "Are you looking for some stories?"
Well, maybe just one that I could reference to let him know that I know.
He he draws a sly smile. And I think we'll cut away from that just so that I can think of something good.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us now, or do you just want to send it to LB?
I'll send it to LB for haha
Okay.
funnies.
Very fun. Okay.
She'll thank him and move back to the rest of the group. Well, our breakfast this morning was provided by a very special chef. One that has thus passed on from the land of the living.
I could tell.
He said less salt next time.
Oh no, I do that to piss him off.
Bad for your cholesterol.
That's a $10 word I've never even thought of.
At my age.
Oh, bless.
The information that I was given is that there are about or upwards of 80 men at the mansion that the sheriff keeps with him, and when he goes out for a dig, he brings a substantial amount with him.
How much we're talking about?
Well, I would
check
say
my-
I would get
Let me
yes,
check my notes.
half. Mhm.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
1, 2. At least 10 men are with him at the dig site.
Oh, okay.
Well, 10
At
is
least
a lot.
10.
10's a lot easier than 80. If we're looking at a pure numbers base, but he probably takes his somewhat best fighters with him.
Or at least the strongest, but
That's
if
still
we
less than 80.
Still less
That's
than 80.
true. And if we hit them in the end of the day before they head back, they will be tired. Oh, also, Hawthorne came back last night to
Oh,
the mansion. Hawthorne, the gentleman we killed yesterday.
all good. That's
So-
great.
We might be on a bit of a ticking clock here. They know that we're in town.
You can even check your you took a picture of him. You can even check that photo, and there's no sign of his
Oh,
ghost
right.
there.
Right. I was like, took a picture of him. What are you talking about?
Yeah. With your spirit camera.
Yeah. I shake it. Yeah, there's no spirit. So, also, I don't think that gold users do get their spirits pass on. They cannot linger, as far as I'm aware.
Hmm. Well, how do we do this? So, if they know we're here, that means they know that Kid is here. And so the element of surprise is lost. To a degree. Like, they're going to be on high alert. Is there any reason or way that we could reduce the number of people? Or do you think that he's... What did they mean dig site, by the way?
Oh, he was looking for something, presumably the treasure that Kid's family had left behind, and he's taking people out to the desert to dig holes to try and find where it is.
It's a
Did I not
terrible
say
idea.
that before?
Is it... Hmm. So, what we would need to do is trap and scrap his dig site to be a potential hazard for him, and maybe we trap him there, because if they're digging below, then we would already have the high ground if we were to trap them in it.
Yeah,
Right.
but there is a minor chance that that is where the treasure is.
But if they're dead, it doesn't really matter.
Then we dig up the treasure later. I don't think...
The main important thing is that when we find him, we don't kill him immediately. If our dear Hawthorne is anything to prove or to lead by example, he might just come back, and we don't want that.
Is that a common thing around here?
DM.
Common enough to confirm that it's a thing.
Possibility, yeah.
Yeah. Like you know they exist. Like you know that it's a common thing, or you know that
it can
trying to-
happen.
yes, that's
It is
I'll
not
leave it at
unheard of.
that. Yeah, I was gonna try and come up with a simile, but like you get it.
It's not unheard of for people with law to come back.
Is Lotus Garden in danger?
They can defend themselves well enough. And
Does us being here put the Lotus Garden in danger?
the mayor knows well better than to mess with neutral ground.
But
How long?
I don't.
How long does it stay neutral ground
Until he
if
makes
they're
the first
protecting
move.
you?
Well, I'm not sticking around long enough to find out.
So where are you headed?
Honestly, dig site sounds pretty good.
Before we go to the dig site,
Jail.
Sparky, the man who said that he would help us fight the mayor, we should probably track down.
It's on the list.
So we would
Right.
want to find him and then dig site versus go to the dig site and then find him, right?
Yes. Wait, yeah, once we live for the dig site, we're probably not coming back until
The deed is done.
That's what I
until
was thinking.
somebody's dead. Somebody's gonna have both sides of the map.
Speaking of, I should not carry this with me.
I'll carry it if you want.
No, you're coming along with me.
Oh! Okay.
Kid gets up from his seat, walks over to the piano, and he'll pull out one of the piano like sheet music, and he'll just stick the map there in between like the
Mm.
pages.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
And then he'll
I
just
like
shove
that.
that into the piano seat.
Okay. Okay. And then
Sparky?
Sparky.
Oh.
Um,
Uh,
I think as they leave, is Bruno up yet?
sure.
She'll, as they're gathering their stuff, she'll walk over and say, "We are heading out, and we are about to. Whether we're coming back or not is in question, but if we come back, I would like to call upon you again for another conversation."
We'll be here.
Have a lovely day.
You too.
She walks away.
Kid will say goodbye to Trina, some of the girls who are awake, Madam Black if she's there.
Okay. You say goodbye to everyone. And you catch Bruno and Trina in a conversation about you catch Bruno and Trina in a conversation about whether or not he can tell if someone's flirting with him.
Bless. I didn't mean to impose for as long as I did, Madam Black. Be taking my leave now.
You are never imposing, child.
Thank you nonetheless. Just between you and me, I hid my portion of the map underneath Bruno's seat.
Ah.
So do with that what you will, if I do not return.
I see. Well, we will keep it safe. And if you ever find yourself feeling lost, know that this will always be a home for you.
Thank you. Kid will turn, and as he does, there is the dust of gold over his back as the Wayward Sons icon is splayed across it.
Mm-hmm.
And just gets burned in.
Nice. I like the idea. It's like dug into the leather, and then like right at the bottom, there's like the embossing of like some gold in the center. The logo on Kid's back is a sunset that appears to be underwater, with kelp and coral and fish surrounding it.
Ruth asks if it would be appropriation if he also donned it, just so that way they could have like a uniform look to them as they go in. Or does Kid want to just keep that to himself?
He'll ask you one question. Were you a pirate at any point in your life?
I have never seen the ocean, arguably. That's kind of my whole thing.
That's my whole character arc. Well, they could be land pirates.
You know what? You keep it. It's more important to you. That being said, we're going to figure out our team colors one of these days.
I don't know. Who knows? If this job goes well, maybe we could take the name.
Okay.
To the jail.
You guys step out the front door, and you make it a few steps before you hear from the porch, "Hey, where are you going?
Yeah.
You're just gonna leave me behind?"
Oh. Sparky?
Yeah, he's just sitting on the rocking chair.
There's breakfast inside.
Oh, shoot, I thought I smelled something good in there. Hold on, I'll grab some victuals to go. I won't be long.
You ever go into a situation really prepared and then something happens that just deflates you?
I thought that was going to take a lot longer. And it
I
was going to
really
be
did
like a
too.
whole arduous task to either find him or the horse.
I thought he was gonna like wax poetically in his jail cell about how his horse left him,
Yeah, standing in
and then
front
we
of
had
a
to talk him out of
squall.
his funk.
He comes out and he's like munching on some toast. What are we talking about?
Your horse.
Mm-hmm. What
Good.
about it?
Well, I think they already mentioned that I kind of had a run-in with it yesterday. And by
Oh, you
run-in, I
did?
mean, yeah.
He
Does
kind of
it
like looks. He sort of like looks you over.
does it disappear often?
Oh yeah. It didn't run you over, did it?
No. Um, I it kind of tried to carry me into the squall, and
Mm-hmm. That
uh,
sounds like it.
and I I took out a lot of its law. Was that
You
keeping
did?
it together?
Interesting.
Are we just gonna gloss over the fact that your horse is headless?
My horse lives in a tornado and disappears at will.
Well, that's not the weirdest thing, 'cause we see horses fuck off into the tornado all the time.
I don't know if those horses live, kid.
I don't know if the fact that it's headless is the weirdest thing about it.
Right, which
No,
is
the
why I had to ask, would taking out the law of it be bad?
No. You can keep it for your trouble. Looks like he took quite the tumble for it. I
Yeah,
tried to ride that thing once or twice. 3 times, 10 times. I lost count. At this point, there ain't nothing I can do. But if we can get more gold than whatever is connected to it, we might be able to overpower it. I reckon we
So-
gotta let all the horses go.
So you're telling me that to let all the horses go and free Glimmer from the Squall, we're gonna have to break into my treasure trove? 'Cause that sounds about enough to do what you're talking about.
Well, I think this is serendipity.
Sorry, serendipity. We all have fanciful names out here for some godforsaken reason.
I mean, unless you know about some other enormous hoard of gold somewhere hiding away, unguarded.
I mean, nah. You want to come along with us and kill the rest of the rogues? Be the DMPC?
You're doing what now?
What? God, it's gonna be so fucking funny if this guy is actually 6 spurs.
To the dig side.
To the dig side. Oh,
We're going
I'll update Sparky about what Cook told us.
to the dig site. What are we doing at the dig site?
So
We should wait until like afternoon when they're tired from digging all day in the sun.
Okay. Works
well,
for me.
the travel time to get there, they would have left early in the morning, you know.
Right.
Or-
I'm sort of under the impression that we still don't know his schedule.
Well, let's speak out of character and make a
Yeah.
plan in the last few minutes that we have left.
So my idea is either sorry, go ahead, Connor.
uh, my understanding is that we don't know his schedule. We don't know when he would have headed there or what like how long he was planning on being there.
Sure.
What
Um,
what I'm thinking is, we don't want to be lingering around town longer than we have to. Either we need to go there, and while they're working, uh, do an attack while they're all stuck in
Busy.
the dig site.
Mhm.
Or we'll either get there ahead of time or sometime whenever they're not there
To set up an
and
ambush.
be able to
Um,
set up an ambush.
I'm willing to say that the information that you got from Cook would be enough to piece together their schedule as to where they're going to be, how long, and how many men they have.
Yeah, I agree with LB. I'd prefer to get there like while they were either like mid break after having done like a bunch of work so that they're a little tired.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that plan.
Or even earlier, and I can use law to make poison and then poison all their food.
All right. Anything else for you guys? Like any other notes, any statements, any twists to the plan that you want to posit
Can I
before
make
we call it
dynamite
for
with
today?
gold?
Can you make dynamite with gold? If we can find something in the 4E database that is similar,
Cool, because if we can get above them, we can get a
because like
real good opportunity.
the closest thing I can think of is Alchemist's Fire. So let me search it.
Ooh. Was
Or
that?
acid, maybe.
Said which would
There's a
still be pretty
consumable.
cool.
There is a level 1 consumable called Alchemist's Fire. And it does 1d6 fire damage. It's
Burst 1, maybe, right?
area burst 1 within 10, +4 versus reflex. Sounds exactly like dynamite to me.
What's the range?
Within
Burst
10.
one.
Oh, so I have to be
Oh.
within 10 feet of them to throw it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if my strength score is 20?
You need to be within 10 squares of them.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I can really huck this
We work-
bitch.
Yeah, we work in squares here.
Squares.
It looks like there is also like leveled versions of this that go up to like the next
Tier.
tier is level 6.
Which
And
can't
right
use.
now the way that we have things written, you can't make anything above your
Above
level.
your level. Yeah. Still, 1d6 in burst 1 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I have tweaked the rules to be that if you find something that was made with gold that is of higher level than what you have, you technically have the quote unquote like mental blueprints for that item.
You
So
deconstruct
like
it, and then you can reconstruct it.
you could deconstruct it and reconstruct it. I'm willing to extend that to consumables. So if you were able to somehow find some leveled dynamite, you'd be able to copy that.
Hey, Sparky.
Yeah.
Old man Jenkins still has his alchemy lab up?
I reckon old man Jenkins blew out of here not too long ago.
Left, not blew up. To the rest of the party.
Oh no, he blew out of here as in
no.
some of them air genasi came in and sort of shoot him away.
Yeah.
Last I checked, it was under control of Dusty's Devils.
What do we say we go and greet our good friend the Dust Bunny and see if we can't procure some dynamite?
Okay, but if things look bad, if it looks like there's way more of them than us, or like they woke up feeling
We scoped the
angry.
place out first. I ain't no fool.
Okay, I want to be careful. He did almost kill me.
Well, we'll keep a lookout for the AC-25 RJustice. I love you, Wings.
Oh, sounds like you guys have faced them ruffians before.
Unfortunately, yes.
And they didn't kill you?
I scared him away.
Oh, he scared you.
Double eyebrows raised. Like,
Yeah, like that. You two are just giving each other a meaningful look. And I think that's where we can leave off.
Excellent. Wings, thank you so much for running this game. This was fantastic. You did an incredible job this week, but you always do a fantastic job whenever you're on this channel. Wings, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I am Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, most related to D&D, and a lot of things on this channel. Do I say anything else normally? I've just
DanaeKeener.com.
Oh. That is what I say. DanaeKeener.com.
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. You can catch me at RJustice22 on Twitter, Twitch, and all that other good stuff. Yeah, follow me on my socials if you want to see what I'm doing, because I've got some big projects coming up. Like, some really big projects coming up. Like, there's a lot of people in this server. Help. I think LB's in this server too. So come check that out. DanaeKeener.com.
I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Instagrams. You can find me at Hack Recklessly on Twitch and YouTube, where we do some TTRPG stuff. We are in the middle of a fight on our Sunday game. We will not be playing this week, but the week after. I dealt 100 damage right out the bat to these bad boys. They're fighting Chompy the Awakened, who they took his intelligence away. So now he's just Chompy the dumb T-Rex dragon thing. Poor baby. DanaeKeener.com.
Chompy the Awakened, but he's like me getting up in the morning. Hi, I'm Cyber. I'm here. DanaeKeener.com. I'll stream it eventually, maybe. I gotta figure shit out.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Sunday, I promise I'm going to try really hard to get something in June. I know that we have plans for a thing in June. So come. Stick through it and check it out. It's going to be a great time. But for now, we are going to be going into our Patreon supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fun folk, feel free to join us at that after show. But for now, we are going to be heading out. So I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for tonight. Thank you to Danae for running this game, and thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you acorns next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. I almost hit the wrong button. This is great.